Hello, my name is Kendall Jenkins, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the works that are a part of Meant to Be Looked At, an exhibition being held at the UMW Convergence Gallery at the University of Mary Washington. This untitled painting, called Woman on the Subway, was originally painted in 1942 and is a perfect example of how Sutton combined the techniques she learned while studying under famous artist and teacher Hans Hofmann, such as his color theory and his push and pull method to painting, and combined it with the various cubist and surrealist elements that were popularized in the late 1930s and into the 40s. If you notice, she keeps the background of this painting relatively neutral, except for highlighting various elements such as the exit light in the top right corner, which pulls in a lovely shade of red while expanding out various shades of blue. But the main subject of this painting, the woman herself, is the most fascinating aspect. The woman herself is crafted with bold curving lines that are carefully colored and coordinated to contain the chaotic assembly of various contrasting warm and cooler colors that make up the majority of her bodily features as well as her clothing. Another important part to note is the checker pattern that is on the woman's shirt as well as her skirt. This pattern is used often in Sutton's other works, and it also provides focus on the objects that are in the center of the painting. Sutton was often inspired by paintings that she saw within the Metropolitan Museum of Art. A painting titled Two Girls Reading was done by Pablo Picasso in 1934 and was part of his exhibition at the MoMA from November 11, 1939 to January 7th of 1940, and may have been one of the works that Sutton encountered when making her other paintings. You can see the inspiration due to the approach to facial elements that Picasso makes, as well as the very bold lines and contrasting colors that he uses on both women to make up the majority of the woman's bodily features, as well as their clothing. The other painting in Sutton's series has been given the title Woman Knitting and is assumed to be painted in the same year of 1942. Her work emphasizes the use of shading as well as carefully layered watercolor to provide the idea of depth and liminality to her environment, which not only gives a focus to the lady in the center of the painting, but also provides a sense of familiarity that is obstructed by the abstracted figure's presence. If you look at the various background elements of the piece, such as the bench and the bag to her right, you will notice a series of X's, dots, and dashes. This was done to provide a sense of texture to these elements while also being a very common trait in many of Sutton's other works. You may also notice the implementation of Hoffman's push and pull theory of painting. While her hands are pushed further together, her shoulders are pulled out to each side to give the idea of a lean. In comparison with her commuting counterpart, instead of using bold lines to separate segments of the woman, Sutton instead opted to let the colors clash into one another to create form, from her focused and content expression to the dark, cool colors of her dress clashing against the vibrant project that she is knitting. Famous cubist Roger de la Fresnaye's painting The Conquest of Air could have been another source of inspiration for Margaret Sutton's Woman Knitting. This oil painting was exhibited at the Metropolitan Museum of Art at the Art of Our Time exhibition from May 10th to September 30th of 1939, and as you can see, exhibits many of the similar shading techniques as well as the idea of using contrasting and yet similar colors to create form, as well as various geometric elements paired with the same dreamlike atmosphere common with Cubists, provides a nice sense of abstraction that Sutton took to a further level with her groundbreaking work.